Hi, I'm Jenny Richards from Shawnee State Park. Here on the show today we're going to talk a little bit about venomous snakes and try to make people feel a little bit more at ease when they're in the woods. A lot of people come to the Nature Center and ask me, is that poisonous? And I have to say, well, it's not exactly poisonous, but it's venomous, and there's a difference between venom and poison. Venom is something that comes to you through fangs, and so spiders in Ohio are venomous, and so are snakes. Poison is something that you ingest. So we'll start with talking about the 3 varieties of venomous snakes that exist here in Ohio, and we'll talk a little bit about their life histories, where they live, and how to find them, and how to avoid them. So the largest of the 3 is the timber rattlesnake, and they can reach 6 feet in length, but it's very rare to find one that long. So the timber rattler can be found in a very small range in Ohio. They're found in the southern part of Ohio, in unglaciated Ohio. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the most common Ohio venomous snake, which is the northern copperhead, and it's the second in size. Copperheads are also really easy to identify from other snakes because they have a great pattern on their back, which no other snake has. It's an hourglass shape. They have a light background with a dark pattern along the back that is shaped like an hourglass, and it goes all the way down to the belly. So you may see a black rat snake or a milk snake that also has a pattern, but the hourglass shape is not there, and the pattern is basically just along the spine of the snake. So that's a really good way to tell a copperhead. Our third snake we'll talk about today is the smallest of all 3 venomous snakes, and that's the Massasauga rattlesnake. It's very small, 20 to 30 inches long, and its nickname is the swamp rattler. It's found in isolated pockets throughout northern Ohio, in the glaciated part of the state, in swamps, wet prairies, bogs. Although they're dangerous because they are rattlesnakes and they do have venom, they have very short fangs, and the likelihood of them actually getting enough venom into a human to hurt you is very rare. So they're not anything to worry about either. When I think of venomous snakes in Ohio, it doesn't make me nervous. It makes me excited. The fact that we have animals that live in our state that we actually need to think about when we're out in the woods and hopefully get a chance to see them is just really a special opportunity. This is one of Ohio's most common snakes here. This is a black rat snake, and also one of the largest snakes of all of North America. These guys can reach 8 feet in length, and they're great climbers. These snakes get misidentified quite often as rattlesnakes. They do a couple things that make them look a little venomous. One thing that they do if you encounter them in the woods, they rattle their tails very rapidly against the leaves to make that sound like a rattle, and they also flatten their heads out when you first encounter them. Look at the pattern on his back as well. I was talking earlier about copperheads and how they have a saddle pattern on their back that looks like an hourglass. The dark patches look like an hourglass that reach all the way to the stomach. This snake does have patches along its back, but nothing that looks like an hourglass pattern. So this is one of the snakes that mimics venomous snakes, but definitely not a venomous snake. You can tell by looking at his head that it is. His head basically just fades right into his body. There's no giant angular head. He also doesn't have the pits at the end of his nose that a rattlesnake or copperhead would have because he's not a pit viper. So this is one of the snakes that you will encounter no matter where you live in Ohio, and you may think it's venomous, but upon closer examination, you'll see that this is a harmless snake that's just trying to help keep rodents out of your yard and your house.